All right, let's talk about something fascinating. We're going to dive into this paradox of time that's happening right now in Hyderabad. It's a city where this really graceful, leisurely history is clashing head-on with a super high-stakes, high-tech global future. And it's a story all about culture, about our own biases, and, the real cost of being late when the whole world is watching.
I know, that sounds a little harsh, right? But it cuts right to the heart of this really deep-seated cultural thing. That phrase, just 5 minutes, we've all used it. It's meant to be polite, to smooth things over. But it's become this habit, this little linguistic tick that's quietly derailing huge professional ambitions in today's interconnected world.
Now, to really get this, we've got to go back in time to this concept called Nawabiyat. And look, this isn't about being lazy, not at all. It's a whole historical worldview where time was, well, it was fluid. It was shaped by relationships, not by the tick-tock of a clock on the wall. It was all about social grace and human connection, which is actually a pretty beautiful way to live. But, and this is a big but, over time, that beautiful, graceful fluidity has kind of broken down into what our source material calls Nawabi entropy. It's this chelta hai or anything goes attitude. It's a collective acceptance of, well, mediocrity, where delays aren't just tolerated, they're actually expected. A lack of precision just becomes the default set. Okay, so let's make this feel real. I want you to meet Naveen. He's a leader in Hyderabad, and he basically embodies this entire struggle. The guy's brilliant, totally sharp, but he's constantly getting tripped up by his own internal clock. It's like it's running on a completely different operating system than the rest of the globalized world. So what's actually going on inside Naveen's head? Well, he's stuck in a psychological trap. It's called the planning fallacy. It's this weird cognitive bias where you consistently, and I mean consistently, underestimate how long something will take, even when you've done it 100 times before and you know it takes longer. It's not about being dishonest, it's a genuine blind spot in how we think. And wow, this slide just lays it all out perfectly. This is the planning fallacy in action. Naveen genuinely believed a 10-kilometer trip would take him 5 minutes. But the GPS data, the cold, hard fact, it consistently took 40 minutes. And it's this huge gap, right here, between belief and reality, where trust with your global partners just starts to crumble. But here's the kicker. This isn't just Naveen's problem. He's part of a bigger systemic issue called the Tardy Equilibrium. Think about it for a second. If you know for a fact that everyone else is going to be late, what's your motivation to be on time? You'll just get there and wait around. So it becomes this self-reinforcing social trap where being late is actually the most rational choice. Crazy, right? And here's exactly how it works. It's a simple but vicious cycle. First, you expect other people to be late. So what do? You arrive late yourself. And by doing that, you just reinforce the exact same expectation for everybody else. The cycle just keeps going, and suddenly, being on time is the strange thing to do. You can really frame this whole conflict as a clash between two completely different worldviews. The local culture is what you call polychronic. Time is fluid, relationships are way more important than schedules. But the global business world, that runs on monochronic time. It's linear, the schedule is king, and you do one thing at a time. To win on that global stage, you have to become fluent in this second language of time. So, we've dug into the culture, we've looked at the psychology, but you might be thinking, okay, it's a local quirk, so what? Well, what is the actual, tangible, bottom line cost when this mindset crashes onto the global stage? The source material gives us this really powerful metaphor for this. The visa clock. Just think about that. It represents the rigid, unforgiving, absolutely zero-tolerance time culture of the global workplace. Out there, Chaltahai isn't seen as being relaxed. It's seen as being unreliable. And that can lead to rescinded job offers, failed projects, and yeah, even genuine financial ruin. The stakes could not be higher. This number, it says everything. 0. That is the amount of tolerance, the amount of wiggle room for the Chaltahai attitude in a high-stakes international environment. 11:59 p.m. is not 12:01 a.m. Precision is absolutely everything, period. Okay, so we have defined the problem, the psychology behind it, and the massive stakes. So, what's the path forward? Well, the solution requires a pretty fundamental change, a re-engineering of the self. It's a concept called the quantum shift. And the absolute core of this shift is this. Start treating time as a quantum constant. A 9 a.m. start time isn't a suggestion. It's not a vague goal.
It's an unchangeable, non-negotiable boundary. It's a fixed point in space-time that you organize your reality around, not the other way around. This whole shift means you have to reframe what your actions are signaling to other people. See, in the old system, being late could actually be a way to signal your importance, your hierarchy. But in the global monochronic world, precision signals something way, way more powerful. It signals respect, reliability, and most of all, trust. Punctuality becomes your currency. It's how you build professional credibility.
All right, now let's turn the camera around. We've talked a lot about Naveen and these big ideas, but how does this actually apply to you? How can you measure your own Nawabi entropy and figure out where your own leadership energy might be leaking out?
So, take a look at this. It's a fantastic little diagnostic tool. And be honest with yourself. Do you use 5 minutes when you really mean sometime soon? Do you actually check the GPS for real-time traffic before you leave? And here's the big one. Could your work habits truly survive the Visa clock test? This isn't about judging yourself. It's just about awareness.
So what's the final takeaway? What do we do with all this? That tardy equilibrium is a powerful social force, for sure, but it's not unbreakable. It only takes one person to completely change the dynamic of a team. By treating your very next meeting as a quantum constant, by deciding you're going to be the first person in that room, you can break the cycle. You can become the reliable, on-time anchor for your entire team. The only real question is, will you be that anchor?